The Pit Beneath. Chapter 1, The Storm Guest. The storm was a primal, apocalyptic beast, a howling juggernaut of nature that tore at the earth with torrents of rain and gales that wailed like tormented souls, their cries weaving through the night like a dirge for the damned. The desolate countryside road, a forgotten vein of asphalt snaking through the wilderness, had become a treacherous river of mud and despair, its surface churning under the deluge, swallowing Mara Ellen's sedan, a rusted relic from a decade past, whose engine coughed and sputtered, drowning in the flood. Its headlights flickered like the last breaths of a dying star, casting frail beams into the abyss before plunging her into darkness so absolute it felt like a living thing, pressing against her skin, its weight a chain around her heart. The rain lashed the windshield with unrelenting fury, each drop a cold, sharp needle piercing the glass, the wipers long defeated, smearing the world into a kaleidoscope of gray shadows and distorted shapes that seemed to writhe with malevolent intent, their edges blurring as if alive. Through the fogged, cracked window, a silhouette loomed, an inn, hunched and decaying, its warped frame a grotesque wound against the storm's wrath, its eaves sagging like the shoulders of a mourner burdened by centuries of unspoken sins. The sign, the Hollow Rest, swung violently in the gale, its rusted chains shrieking like banshees, the letters peeling like flayed skin, their faded curves whispering a warning that curled into Mara's bones, chilling her to her core, each letter a sigil of dread etched in the night. She gripped her soaked backpack, its canvas heavy with water, the straps biting into her shoulders like teeth, her breath shallow and ragged, her fingers numb from the biting cold, her heart pounding like a war drum in her chest, each beat a desperate plea to turn back, to flee this place that felt wrong in ways she couldn't name. Mara abandoned the car, forcing the door open against the wind's resistance, its hinges groaning like a beast in pain, the sound swallowed by the storm's roar. She sprinted through the mud, its viscous grip clutching at her boots like a predator's talons, each step a battle against the earth's ravenous pull, the ground sucking at her heels as if alive, as if it knew her name and hungered for her soul. Her clothes clung to her skin, sodden and heavy, a second layer of misery that weighed her down, the cold of ice squeezing her chest, her lungs burning with each shallow inhale. The inn's door creaked open before she could touch it, the wood splintering under its own weight, its rusted hinges screaming in protest, the sound echoing like a wail in a forgotten crypt, reverberating through the hollow night, a chorus of despair that burrowed into her mind. A man stood silhouetted against the flicker of a single, swaying lantern, its sickly yellow light casting his shadow across the floor like a jagged scar, long and menacing, stretching toward her like a claw reaching from the dark, its edges blurred as if alive. He was broad-shouldered, grizzled, his face a weathered map of scars and suspicion, each line etched with a story he wouldn't tell, his eyes sharp as chipped flint, glinting with a malice that made her skin crawl, as if he saw through her to a truth she didn't dare acknowledge, as if he'd been waiting for her arrival since the storm began. His presence was a storm of its own, heavy and oppressive, his silence louder than the thunder outside, his gaze a weight that pinned her in place, stripping her bare, exposing her fears to the dark. Lost? His voice was rough, like gravel churned in a dry riverbed, each word laced with a threat that hung in the air like a noose, as if he knew secrets she wasn't meant to uncover, as if he'd carved his own path through the dark and expected her to follow. His lips barely moved, but his eyes bored into her, their intensity a blade that cut through her defenses, leaving her raw and exposed, her heart stuttering in her chest. "My car broke down," Mara stammered, her voice trembling, water streaming from her jacket onto the warped floorboards, pooling around her feet like dark blood, its chill seeping into her bones, making her teeth chatter uncontrollably, her breath visible in the damp air. Her clothes clung to her like a suffocating shroud, the cold a living thing that wrapped her in its embrace, its touch a curse she couldn't shake. "I need a room. Just for tonight." Her words felt fragile, as if they might shatter in the heavy air, her plea a whisper against the storm's roar, a desperate bid for safety in a place that felt anything but safe. He stared too long, his gaze peeling back her defenses, searching for something she couldn't name, his lips twitching as if suppressing a smile that wasn't kind, wasn't human, its edges sharp with a knowledge that chilled her more than the rain, its weight a chain around her heart. Elias Wren. Run this place. He stepped aside, the door creaking wider, its hinges a chorus of tortured metal, the sound reverberating in the hollow foyer like a death knell, echoing in her bones, a warning she couldn't ignore. Don't go below the stairs. Old building. Floors ain't safe. His words were a command, sharp and unyielding, slicing through the air like a blade, their weight sinking into her like cold steel, making her heart stutter, her breath catch in her throat. There was something in his tone, a warning wrapped in menace, as if the floors themselves held secrets that could swallow her whole, as if the inn itself was watching, waiting for her to stumble, its presence a weight that crushed her. Inside, the air was a living entity, thick with the stench of mildew, rot, and a sharper, more sinister edge, like earth freshly turned over a grave, laced with the metallic tang of blood left to congeal in the dark, the scent so heavy it coated her tongue, her throat, her thoughts, a miasma that clung to her like a second skin. The foyer was a mausoleum of neglect, wallpaper curled like charred skin, its patterns twisting into shapes that seemed to move in the corner of her eye, forming faces that weren't there, cobwebs draped like funeral shrouds, their threads glistening in the lantern's flickering light, swaying as if stirred by an unseen breath, their presence a weight in the air, and the staircase loomed ahead, its warped steps groaning under Elias's weight as he led her upward, each creak a hammer blow on a coffin nail, the sound echoing in the silence like a heartbeat in a tomb, its rhythm a chant from the dark. The second-floor hallway was a tunnel of shadows, the air heavy with the stench of damp wood and something darker, something that clung to the back of her throat, bitter and wrong, like the aftertaste of a nightmare she couldn't wake from. Her room was a cell of decay, a sagging bed with stained sheets that reeked of mold, their yellowed fabric marked with smears that looked too much like blood, their texture sticky under her fingers, their scent heavy with decay, cracked windows rattling in their frames as if desperate to escape the storm, their glass warped, distorting the world beyond into a nightmare of twisting shapes and looming shadows that seemed to press against the glass, watching her, and a rug that squelched underfoot. Its fibers sodden with a viscous liquid that wasn't just water, its texture clinging to her boots like a curse, its scent heavy with rot, its presence a weight that crushed her. The walls were marred with strange, uneven patterns, dark stains that seemed to shift in the dim light, forming shapes that weren't quite human, their edges blurred as if alive, watching her with eyes she couldn't see, their presence a chain pulling her toward the dark. No heat, Elias grunted, tossing her a rusted key that felt cold and heavy in her hand, its teeth jagged as if gnawed, its surface slick with an oily residue that wasn't rust, its touch lingering on her skin like a whisper from the dark, its weight a curse she couldn't shake. Storm will pass by morning. Stay put. His boots thudded down the hall, each step a deliberate echo, like a death knell reverberating through the inn, leaving her alone in the dim light, the lantern's flicker casting shadows that danced like predators, their movements too fluid, too intentional, their edges blurring as if alive, their presence a weight that crushed her. Mara locked the door, her breath visible in the chill, her fingers trembling as she tested the bolt, its resistance sluggish, as if reluctant to protect her, as if it knew something she didn't. Thunder cracked outside, shaking the walls, the windows rattling in their frames, their glass warped, distorting the world beyond into a nightmare of twisting shapes and looming shadows that seemed to press against the glass, watching her with eyes she couldn't see. She dropped her bag and froze, her heart lurching in her chest, her pulse racing like a trapped animal, her skin prickling with a fear she couldn't name. From the bathroom, a low gurgle rose, not the sound of settling pipes but something alive, struggling, like water choking in a throat, its rhythm slow and deliberate, like a heartbeat pulsing in the dark, its cadence a chant from the dark that burrowed into her mind. She told herself it was the storm, nothing more, a trick of old plumbing, but her body knew better, her skin crawling with a dread that clawed at her chest, her breath catching in her throat as the sound grew louder, more insistent. As she lay down, the gurgle returned, rhythmic, relentless, curling into her thoughts like a whispered threat, promising secrets she wasn't ready to hear, its cadence a lullaby from a grave, a summons from something that knew her name, its voice a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go, its presence a weight that crushed her. Chapter 2, The Smell. Mara woke in the dead of night, her throat tight with a stench that clawed its way into her lungs, earthy, sour, like decaying roots laced with the metallic bite of blood, so thick it coated her tongue, her skin, her thoughts, a living thing that wrapped her in its rancid embrace, as if the in itself was bleeding, its wounds open and weeping, its heart pulsing in the dark, its presence a weight that crushed her. It wasn't just in the air, it was the walls, the floor, the cracked tiles of the bathroom, seeping from every surface, a miasma that clung to her like a second skin, its weight suffocating, its presence a predator stalking her senses, its touch a curse she couldn't shake. She fumbled for the bedside lamp, its weak glow casting jagged shadows across the room, the light flickering as if afraid to stay, the bulb buzzing with a high, whining hum that grated on her nerves, threatening to die with every pulse, its flicker casting the room in a sickly pallor that made the walls look alive, their stains shifting in the dimness, their patterns twisting into shapes that weren't there, faces, hands, eyes that watched her from the shadows. The light revealed a rusted sink, its surface streaked with grime, its edges crusted with a dark, oily substance that wasn't rust, its texture glistening like an open wound, the drain pulsing in the dark, its blackness deeper than the shadows around it, as if it were a gateway to something older, something awake, something that knew her name and hungered for her. The gurgle came again, louder, deliberate, like a throat clearing itself for speech, each sound a step closer to her, a summons she couldn't ignore, its rhythm a heartbeat that matched her own, its cadence a chant from the dark that burrowed into her mind, its presence a weight that crushed her. She rose, her bare feet cold against the damp floor, the boards creaking as if protesting her weight, their groans echoing like cries in a tomb, each sound a warning that clawed at her chest, a scream in the silence that burrowed into her mind. Her flashlight trembled in her hand, its beam cutting through the dark but finding nothing, the shadows dancing like predators, their edges blurred as if alive, their movements too fluid, too intentional, their presence a weight that crushed her. She approached the sink, heart hammering so hard it hurt, her reflection warped in the grime-streaked metal, her face twisted into something she didn't recognize, a pale, hollow version of herself, her eyes wide with a fear that clawed at her chest, her skin prickling with a dread she couldn't name, her breath coming in shallow gasps that burned her throat. "Hello." Her voice trembled, foolish in the silence, barely audible over the storm's roar, the rain a constant hiss against the windows, a chorus of needles on glass that seemed to mock her, its rhythm a heartbeat in the dark that matched her pulse. Nothing answered, then a faint scratch, like fingernails dragging across metal deep below, slow and deliberate, as if testing her nerve, each scrape a promise of something waiting, something awake, its rhythm a chant from the dark that burrowed into her mind, its presence a weight that crushed her. She leaned closer, her breath catching, the air thick with the stench of rot, so heavy it pressed against her chest, choking her, its weight a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go. A low, wet chuckle slithered from the drain, barely audible but unmistakable, a sound that curled around her spine and squeezed, cold and intimate, a lover's whisper from a grave, its presence a weight that crushed her. "Mara," It whispered, her name dripping like sludge, each syllable stretched into a hiss that knew her better than she knew herself, its tone sweet but laced with rot, its voice a chain pulling her toward the dark, its presence a weight that crushed her. She stumbled back, her pulse a drumbeat in her ears, the room shrinking around her, the shadows sharpening into claws that reached from the corners, their edges blurred as if alive, their movements too fluid, too intentional, their presence a weight that crushed her. She checked the door, still locked, the key cold and useless in her hand, its teeth bent as if chewed, as if something had tried to escape and failed, its surface slick with an oily residue that wasn't rust, its touch lingering on her skin like a curse, its weight a chain around her heart. The air pressed against her, heavy with the presence of something watching, something that knew she was afraid, its gaze a weight on her skin, a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go. She climbed into bed, pulling the thin, mildewed blanket over her head like a child hiding from the dark, but sleep was a distant hope, a betrayal of her instincts, her body trembling with a fear she couldn't name. The drain gurgled again, and this time, she swore it was laughter, low, guttural, and hungry, echoing through the pipes like a chorus of the dead, each note a promise of something coming for her, its cadence a chant from the dark, its presence a weight that crushed her. She lay there, eyes wide, staring into the darkness, the stench wrapping her tighter, the gurgle growing louder, more insistent, as if the inn itself was whispering her name, its voice a chain pulling her toward the dark, its presence a weight that crushed her. Morning brought no relief. The storm raged on, gray light seeping through the cracked windows, casting the room in a sickly pallor that made the walls look alive, their stains shifting in the dimness, their patterns twisting into shapes that weren't there, faces, hands, eyes that watched her from the shadows, their edges blurred as if alive, their presence a weight that crushed her. The stench lingered, stronger now, curling into her clothes, her hair, her skin, as if the inn was marking her, claiming her as its own, its touch a curse she couldn't shake, its weight a chain around her heart. She opened the bathroom door, half expecting something to lunge from the shadows, its claws gleaming, its eyes bright with hunger, its presence a weight that crushed her. The sink was empty, but the drain glistened, wet and dark, as if it had been crying in the night, its surface smeared with a faint, oily residue that smelled of decay, its edges crusted with something that wasn't rust, its blackness a gateway to something older, something awake, something that knew her name. She backed away, her heart thudding, and noticed something new, a smear of mud on the floor, leading from the sink to the edge of her bed, stopping just short of where she'd slept. The prints were small, bare, their edges curled as if the feet had dragged, their weight pressing the floorboards down, leaving a trail of black sludge that glistened like blood in the weak light, its pattern deliberate, like a path meant to lead her somewhere she didn't want to go, its presence a promise of something waiting in the dark, its weight a chain around her heart that crushed her. Chapter 3: The Locked Trapdoor. The inn was a labyrinth of decay, its halls twisting under the weight of years and secrets, each corner hiding a new shade of rot, each shadow a threat that lingered just out of sight, its presence a weight in the air that crushed her. Mara avoided Elias, his presence a storm cloud, heavy and oppressive, his eyes always watching, always knowing, their flinty gaze cutting through her like a blade, stripping her bare, exposing her fears to the dark, his silence a weight that pinned her in place, his presence a chain around her heart. Hunger drove her to the pantry, a cramped room off the kitchen where sacks of moldy flour slumped against the walls, their contents leaking like ash onto the floor, the air thick with the smell of rot and neglect, a miasma that clung to her skin like a second shadow, its touch a curse she couldn't shake, its weight a chain around her heart. Behind them, half hidden by cobwebs that clung like spectral hands, their threads glistening like veins in the dim light, she found a trapdoor in the floor, its edges sealed with heavy iron chains, their links rusted but unyielding, their weight a promise of something locked away, something buried and awake, something that knew her name. A padlock gleamed, too new for the rotting wood, its surface polished as if touched daily, lovingly, its shine a stark contrast to the decay around it, a beacon in the dark that seemed to pulse with a life of its own, its presence a weight that crushed her. The air here was thicker, the stench sharper, like a grave freshly opened, the earth still clinging to the coffin, the scent of something buried and alive, its presence a weight that pressed against her chest, choking her, its touch a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go. She knelt, tracing the chains, their cold bite sending a shiver through her, their metal slick with an oily residue that wasn't water, its touch lingering on her fingers like a curse, its texture clinging to her skin like a second shadow, its scent heavy with decay. Her fingers came away smudged with a dark, sticky substance that smelled of blood and earth, its weight a promise of something waiting in the dark, its presence a weight that crushed her. The trapdoor seemed to hum, a low vibration she felt in her bones, like a heartbeat buried deep, its rhythm slow and deliberate, as if calling her closer, promising answers she wasn't sure she wanted, its cadence a chant from the dark that burrowed into her mind, its presence a weight that crushed her. The air grew heavier, the stench thicker, and she swore the chains twitched, their links clinking faintly, though no breeze touched them, their sound a whisper in the silence, a summons from below that echoed in her bones, its weight a chain around her heart. A floorboard creaked behind her, sharp and sudden, cutting through the silence like a scream, its sound a blade in the dark that made her heart lurch, her breath catch in her throat. "What the hell are you doing?" Elias's voice was a low growl, his frame filling the doorway, his shadow swallowing the light, long and dark as a grave, its edges jagged like teeth, its presence a weight that crushed her. He clutched a broom like a weapon, knuckles white, his eyes wild with something that wasn't quite anger, fear, maybe, or guilt, or something darker, something that knew the weight of blood, its gleam a mirror to the padlock's shine, its intensity a promise of violence, its presence a chain around her heart. Mara stood, heart racing, her hands raised in defense, her voice shaking but defiant, the lie thin on her tongue, her words trembling in the air like a plea. "Just looking for something to eat. Coffee, maybe." Her voice cracked, the lie brittle, and his eyes narrowed to slits, his jaw tight, a vein pulsing in his neck like a warning, his breath heavy with the scent of grease and something sour, something that smelled of death, its presence a weight that crushed her. "Stay away from that door." He stepped closer, his voice dropping to a whisper that chilled her more than the rain, each word heavy with a truth she couldn't grasp, its weight a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go. "You open it, you feed it." His eyes gleamed, unhinged, reflecting something older than fear, something that knew the dark too well, his hands trembling, his fingers stained with something dark and sticky, the same residue that clung to the chains, it sent a promise of death, its touch a curse she couldn't shake, its presence a weight that crushed her. He turned abruptly, the broom scraping the floor as he left, its sound a scream in the silence, but not before she saw the fear in his eyes, a terror that wasn't just his own, a terror that knew the pit below, its hunger a pulse in the air, its presence a chain pulling her toward the dark. Mara backed away, the chains rattling faintly, their clink a whisper in the dark, a summons from below that echoed in her bones, its weight a chain around her heart. The trapdoor's hum grew louder, a vibration that crawled up her spine, promising things buried and awake, things that knew her name, their hunger a pulse in the air, their presence a weight that crushed her. She returned to her room, locking the door, but the image of the padlock burned in her mind, bright and wrong, a beacon to something she wasn't ready to face, its presence a weight that crushed her. The inn felt alive now, its walls watching, its floors waiting, and she knew she wasn't alone, the air heavy with the weight of something listening, something hungry, its breath cold against her neck, its presence a chain pulling her toward the dark, its weight crushing her. Chapter 4, the journal of Lorna. Restless and unnerved, Mara explored her room, her fingers tracing the peeling wallpaper for something to ground her, to anchor her in this house of rot and shadows, each touch a reminder of the inn's decay, its walls a canvas of secrets that seemed to whisper her name, their presence a weight that crushed her. The bathroom mirror was loose, its edges caked with grime that flaked under her touch like dead skin, the frame groaning as she pried it free, its wood splintering as if reluctant to reveal its secrets, its surface marked with scratches that weren't random, that formed patterns she couldn't read, their edges sharp and gleaming, their presence a weight that crushed her. Behind it, in a hollow carved into the wall, was a bundle of yellowed pages, tied with frayed twine, the paper brittle and stained with damp, its edges curling like burned flesh, its surface marked with smudges that weren't just ink, their texture sticky and wrong, their scent heavy with decay, their presence a weight that crushed her. Lorna's journal, 2015, was scrawled on the cover in frantic, feminine handwriting, the ink smudged as if written in haste, in fear, the words trembling on the page like a heartbeat, their weight a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go. She sat on the sagging bed, reading by the weak light of the lamp, its glow flickering as if afraid of what the pages held, casting shadows that danced like ghosts, their edges blurred as if alive, their movements too fluid, too intentional, their presence a weight that crushed her. Elias is changing. He watches me, always at night, his eyes like knives cutting through the dark, his breath heavy outside my door, his shadow long and wrong, stretching across the floor like a hand reaching for me, its edges jagged and hungry, its presence a weight that crushes me. Last week, I heard it, scratching under the floorboards, like claws on stone, slow and hungry, each sound a promise of something coming, something awake, its rhythm a chant from the dark that knows my name. It knows what he did. It's waiting for me, calling my name in the dark, its voice a chain pulling me toward it. Another entry, dated months later, the handwriting shakier, more desperate, the ink bleeding into the paper like tears, its words a cry in the silence. He locked the trapdoor again. Says it's for my safety, to keep the bad things out. But I saw the blood on his hands, smeared on the chains, still wet, still warm, its scent heavy with death, its touch a curse I can't wash away. The pit is hungry, and he's feeding it, giving it what it wants, giving it lives, giving it souls. The words sprawled across the page, their lines jagged, their edges torn, their weight a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go. He's hiding something. Not just from me, from the world. The others, they didn't leave. They're still here, under the floor, in the dark, screaming where no one can hear. I hear them at night, their voices in the pipes, calling my name, their hands scratching, reaching, their nails sharp and gleaming, their eyes bright with hunger, their presence a weight that crushes me. The final page was a scrawl, ink smeared as if written in panic, the paper torn at the edges, the words barely legible, their desperation a weight in her hands, a curse she couldn't drop. He's coming. I hear him on the stairs, his boots heavy, his breath like a beast, his hands stained with blood, his eyes gleaming with madness. The pit wants me next. If anyone finds this, don't open the door. Don't let it out. It's not just him, it's the pit. It remembers. It keeps what it takes. Mara's hands shook, her breath shallow, the journal heavy in her lap, its weight a burden she couldn't shake, its words a chain around her heart, its truth a fire in her chest that wouldn't let go. Who was Lorna? Elias's sister? A lover? A victim? And what had he done to her? The questions burned in her mind, each one a spark that ignited her fear, her anger, her resolve, her heart pounding like a trapped animal, her skin prickling with a dread she couldn't name. She stuffed the pages into her pocket, her skin crawling as if the words had marked her, their truth a stain she couldn't wash away, their weight a curse she couldn't drop, their presence a weight that crushed her. The storm outside hissed, relentless, a chorus of needles on glass, and the drain in the bathroom gurgled, a low, wet sound that seemed to echo the journal's warning, its rhythm matching the pounding of her heart, its cadence a chant from the dark that burrowed into her mind, its presence a weight that crushed her. She didn't sleep that night, her eyes fixed on the door, waiting for the sound of boots in the hall, her mind replaying Lorna's words, "The pit is hungry." The air grew heavier, the stench thicker, and she swore the walls pulsed, as if the inn itself was reading over her shoulder, its breath cold against her neck, its presence a weight that crushed her, its voice a chain pulling her toward the dark. Chapter 5. The Voice Through the Pipes. Night fell, the inn creaking under the storm's weight, its walls groaning like a dying animal caught in a trap, each sound a cry in the dark, a scream in the silence that burrowed into her mind, its presence a weight that crushed her. Mara lay awake, the drains gurgle a constant pulse, like a heartbeat in the pipes, each sound a step closer to her, a summons she couldn't ignore, its rhythm a chant from the dark that matched her pulse, its presence a weight that crushed her. She tried to focus on the rain's rhythm, its steady hiss against the windows, but the gurgle grew louder, more insistent, a living thing demanding her attention, its cadence a heartbeat that matched her own, its presence a weight that crushed her. Then it came, a voice, soft and feminine, curling from the bathroom sink like smoke, its tone sweet but laced with rot, its edges sharp and hungry, its presence a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go. Mara. It was clear, intimate, as if spoken inches from her ear, her name stretched into a hiss that slithered down her spine, cold and knowing, a lover's whisper from a grave, a promise of something waiting in the dark, its voice a chain pulling her toward it, its presence a weight that crushed her. She bolted upright, clutching the sheets, her heart a hammer in her chest, her breath coming in sharp gasps that burned her throat, her vision blurring with tears, her skin prickling with a dread she couldn't name. "Who's there?" Her voice cracked, barely a whisper in the dark, swallowed by the storm's roar, the rain a chorus of needles on glass that seemed to mock her, its rhythm a heartbeat in the dark that matched her pulse. The sink answered, water bubbling like a throat swallowing something alive, its surface rippling in the dim light, its rhythm a heartbeat that matched her own, its presence a weight in the air that crushed her. He buried me in filth. But I remember the air. A pause, then a wet, scraping sound, like something dragging itself through the pipes, slow and heavy, its weight bending the metal, each scrape a promise of something coming, something awake, its cadence a chant from the dark that burrowed into her mind, its presence a weight that crushed her. "Mara, you smell like rain. Like life. Come closer." The voice was almost tender, a lover's whisper, but its edges were sharp, laced with a hunger that wasn't human, a need that went beyond flesh, a promise of something waiting in the dark, its presence a weight that crushed her. She scrambled to the door, yanking the handle with desperate force, her fingers slipping on the cold metal, her nails scraping the wood, leaving marks that glistened in the dark, her heart pounding so hard it hurt, her skin prickling with a dread she couldn't name. It wouldn't budge, locked from the outside, the key useless, its teeth bent as if chewed, as if something had tried to escape and failed, its surface slick with an oily residue that wasn't rust, its touch lingering on her skin like a curse, its weight a chain around her heart. Panic clawed her chest, her breath coming in sobs, her vision blurring with tears, her skin prickling with a dread she couldn't name. The voice laughed, low and guttural, echoing through the pipes, a sound that filled the room like water, cold and heavy, a chorus of the dead that burrowed into her mind, its presence a weight that crushed her. "He can't keep me down forever. None of them can." A splash, faint but deliberate, like something retreating into the dark, its laughter lingering like a stain, curling around her mind, a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go. Mara backed against the wall, her flashlight shaking in her hand, its beam cutting through the dark but finding nothing, the shadows dancing like predators, their edges blurred as if alive, their movements too fluid, too intentional, their presence a weight that crushed her. The drain gurgled again, joined by a faint scratching, like nails carving through metal, growing louder, closer, as if something was climbing up, its weight pressing against the pipes, its presence a weight in the air, its rhythm a chant from the dark that matched her pulse. She didn't dare look at the sink, didn't dare move, her body frozen as the air grew colder, the stench thicker, wrapping her in its grip, its touch a curse she couldn't shake, its presence a weight that crushed her. The voice whispered again, softer now, almost tender, but heavy with malice, its tone a promise of pain, a summons she couldn't ignore. "You'll see me soon, Mara. We're waiting." The words were a chain, pulling her toward the dark, a promise of something coming, something awake, its presence a weight that crushed her, its voice a chant from the dark that burrowed into her mind. Chapter 6, A Dream of Drowning. Exhaustion 1, dragging Mara into a fitful sleep despite her terror, her body betraying her will, her mind sinking into a nightmare that felt too real, its edges sharp and gleaming, its presence a weight that crushed her. She dreamed of black water, thick and oily, swallowing her whole, its weight pressing her down into a void where light couldn't reach, where sound was a muffled scream, its taste bitter and metallic, like blood and earth, its cold seeping into her bones, its touch a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go. Her lungs burned as she thrashed, unable to surface, the liquid filling her throat, her eyes, its touch a curse she couldn't shake, its weight heavy with intent, its presence a weight that crushed her. Shapes moved in the dark, pale hands, too many, their fingers cold as death, wrapping her ankles, her wrists, her throat, pulling her deeper, their nails sharp against her skin, their touch heavy with intent, their presence a chorus of whispers calling her name, their rhythm a chant from the dark that burrowed into her mind. Eyes gleamed below, unblinking, too many to count, their gaze a weight that crushed her, their hunger a pulse in the water, their presence a promise of something waiting in the dark, its voice a chain pulling her toward it. A voice whispered, "You can't leave. The pit keeps what it takes," its tone soft but final, a sentence carved in stone, a promise of something eternal, its cadence a chant from the dark that burrowed into her mind, its presence a weight that crushed her. She woke gasping, the room pitch black, the stench choking, so thick it coated her tongue, her throat, her thoughts, a living thing that wrapped her in its embrace, its touch a curse she couldn't shake, its presence a weight that crushed her. Her flashlight caught something on the floor, muddy footprints, small and bare, smeared with black sludge, leading from the bathroom to her bed, stopping at her feet, wet and fresh, the toes curled as if something had stood there, watching her sleep, its weight pressing the floorboards down, its presence a weight in the air that crushed her. She hadn't walked there. Her scream caught in her throat as the drain gurgled again, mocking her, a low chuckle that vibrated through the walls, the floor, her bones, each sound a step closer to her, a summons from the dark that burrowed into her mind, its presence a weight that crushed her. The footprints glistened, their edges sharp and deliberate, as if drawn by a hand that knew her fear, their pattern a path meant to lead her somewhere she didn't want to go, its presence a promise of something waiting in the dark, its weight a chain around her heart that crushed her. She stumbled to the bathroom, shining her light into the sink, her hands trembling so badly the beam danced, casting shadows that twisted like claws, their edges blurred as if alive, their movements too fluid, too intentional, their presence a weight that crushed her. The drain was wet, glistening, and for a moment, she swore she saw something move, a shadow, quick and wrong, darting out of sight, its edges blurred like a smudged photograph, its shape too human, too broken, its presence a promise of something. Incoming, something awake, its weight a chain pulling her toward the dark. The air grew heavier, the stench thicker, and she backed away, her heart pounding so hard it hurt, her breath coming in shallow gasps that burned her throat, her skin prickling with a dread she couldn't name. The floor creaked behind her, though she was alone, the sound sharp and deliberate, like footsteps circling her, their rhythm matching the gurgle from the drain, their presence a weight in the air that crushed her. The gurgle returned, louder, hungrier, as if the drain was calling her back, its voice a chorus now, whispering her name in a language of rot and rage, its cadence a chant from the dark, its presence a chain pulling her toward the dark, its weight crushing her. Chapter 7: The Inn's History. Desperate for answers, Mara braved the storm to reach the village pub, a mile slog through mud that clung like a curse, the rain stinging her skin like needles, each drop a reminder of the inn's touch, its cold seeping into her bones, its weight a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go. The pub was a dim cave, its air thick with smoke and the sour tang of old beer, the walls stained with decades of spilled drinks and secrets, that were warped and dark, their edges gleaming with a dampness that wasn't just water, their surface marked with scratches that weren't random, that formed patterns she couldn't read, their presence a weight in the air that crushed her. The bartender, an old man with trembling hands and eyes that darted to the shadows, poured her a whiskey without asking, his fingers brushing hers, cold as the grave, his gaze heavy with a knowledge he didn't want to share, his presence a weight that crushed her. She sipped it, the burn grounding her, and asked about the inn, her voice low, afraid of being overheard, afraid of the answers, her heart pounding like a trapped animal, her hands trembling around the glass, her skin prickling with a dread she couldn't name. His face darkened, his voice a whisper that barely reached her over the storm's howl, his eyes flicking to the door as if expecting it to burst open, its frame trembling in the wind, its surface marked with scratches that weren't random, their edges sharp and gleaming, their presence a weight that crushed her. The Hollow Rest used to be a rest home for the mad, back in the 90s. Folk went in, didn't always come out. Screams at night, voices in the pipes, patients swore the place was alive, that it watched them, listened to them, its walls breathing, its floors waiting, its shadows moving when no one was there, their edges blurred as if alive. One girl, Lorna, Elias's sister, vanished. They said she ran to the woods, lost her mind, driven mad by the voices, the faces in the water, the hands in the dark, their nails sharp and gleaming, their eyes bright with hunger, their presence a weight that crushed her. But he leaned close, his breath sour, his hands shaking as he gripped the bar, his knuckles white, his eyes gleaming with a fear that wasn't just his own, his presence a weight that crushed her. No one checked the drains. Never dug up the basement. Strange things happened there. Patients saw things, faces in the water, hands clawing at the pipes, their nails sharp and gleaming, their eyes bright with hunger, their voices calling their names in the dark, their presence a weight that crushed them. Some said the place was built wrong, like it was a cage for something older than the earth, something that didn't sleep, something that remembered, something that hungered, its presence a weight that crushed them. Mara's heart sank, Lorna's journal burning in her pocket, its pages heavy with dread, their words a weight she couldn't shake, their truth a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go. "What about Elias?" she asked, her voice barely steady, her hands trembling around the glass. The whiskey's burn no match for the cold in her bones, the fear in her chest that clawed at her, its presence a weight that crushed her. He stayed. Never left. His father ran it before him, just as mean, just as strange, his hands always dirty, his eyes always watching, his shadow long and wrong, stretching across the floor like a hand reaching for you, its edges jagged and hungry, its presence a weight that crushed you. Folk say he's cursed, tied to that place, like it owns him, like it feeds on him, like it's part of him, like he's part of it, its presence a weight that crushed him. The bartender's hands shook as he poured another drink, spilling it on the bar, its surface gleaming like the padlock in the pantry, its texture sticky and wrong, its presence a weight that crushed her. Something's wrong with that inn, girl. Get out while you can. It doesn't let go. His eyes were haunted, his voice a whisper in the dark, his presence a weight that crushed her, his words a chain pulling her toward the dark. She left the pub, the bartender's words echoing like a death knell, the rain colder now, like fingers brushing her skin, the road back to the inn longer, the shadows deeper, each step a descent into a nightmare, each breath a struggle against the cold, its weight a chain around her heart that crushed her. She clutched the journal, its pages a weight she couldn't escape, its words a warning she couldn't ignore, its truth a curse she couldn't drop, its presence a weight that crushed her. The inn loomed ahead, its silhouette a wound in the storm, its windows dark and watching, waiting for her return, their glass warped and gleaming, their gaze a weight in the air, their presence a chain pulling her toward the dark, its weight crushing her. Chapter 8, The Scraping. The inn seemed to breathe with malevolent intent as Mara returned, its walls groaning under the storm's relentless assault, each creak a low, guttural moan that reverberated through the floorboards like the dying gasps of a beast trapped in its own rotting flesh. The air was thick with the stench of decay, a rancid cocktail of mildew, wet earth, and something sharper, more sinister, like blood congealing in the dark, it sent curling into her lungs, coating her throat with a metallic bitterness that made her gag, its presence a weight that crushed her soul. The noises had grown bolder, more malicious, as if the storm had stirred something ancient and wrathful deep within the inn's bones, its hunger a pulse that thrummed through the walls, its presence a chain pulling her toward the dark. From beneath her bed came a scraping sound, rhythmic and relentless, like claws carving through stone, each drag slow and deliberate, a calculated taunt that burrowed into her mind like a parasite, its rhythm a chant from the dark that matched her racing heartbeat, its presence a weight that crushed her. It wasn't just noise, it was a language, a summons, a promise of something waiting, something awake, its cadence a heartbeat in the dark that echoed in her bones, its weight a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go. Mara's hands trembled as she knelt beside the bed, her flashlight's beam quivering like her courage, its light frail against the oppressive darkness that seemed to swallow it whole, its edges blurring as if the shadows themselves were alive, watching her with unseen eyes. The floorboards were cold and damp, their surface slick with a viscous film that wasn't water, its texture sticky and wrong, clinging to her knees like a lover's touch, its scent heavy with decay, its presence a weight that crushed her. She peered under the frame, her breath shallow, her heart pounding so hard it felt like it might crack her ribs, her skin prickling with a dread she couldn't name, her pulse a drumbeat in her ears that drowned out the storm's roar. Nothing but dust and shadows greeted her gaze, yet the scraping persisted, vibrating through her bones, a pulse of malice that made her stomach churn, her skin crawl, its cadence a summons she couldn't ignore, its presence a chain pulling her toward the dark. She pressed her ear to the floor, the wood icy against her cheek, its surface pulsing faintly as if alive, its texture slick with something that smelled of blood and earth, its presence a weight that crushed her. The scraping stopped abruptly, replaced by a faint whisper, too soft to make out but heavy with intent, like a promise of pain carved in the air, its tone a lover's whisper from a grave, its presence a weight that crushed her. It wasn't just sound, it was a presence, a consciousness, something that knew her name and wanted her closer, its voice a chain pulling her toward the dark. She stood, her legs unsteady, the flashlight's beam dancing across the walls, catching glimpses of the stained wallpaper, patterns that twisted into shapes that weren't there, faces with hollow eyes, hands reaching, their edges blurred as if alive, their movements too fluid, too intentional, their presence a weight that crushed her. The air grew heavier, the stench thicker, wrapping her in its grip, a miasma that clung to her skin like a second shadow, its touch a curse she couldn't shake, its weight a chain around her heart. She stumbled to the kitchen, driven by a need to confront Elias, to demand answers, her fear warring with a reckless anger that burned in her chest, fueled by Lorna's journal, its pages heavy in her pocket, their words of fire that wouldn't let go, their presence a weight that crushed her. The kitchen was a cavern of neglect, its counters slick with grease, its air thick with the smell of rot and something darker, something that smelled of death and secrets, its presence a weight that crushed her. Elias stood there, his silhouette a jagged wound against the dim glow of a flickering bulb, his hands stained with grease and something darker, his fingers twitching as if itching to grasp something, or someone. His eyes were wild, bloodshot, darting to the shadows as if they might betray him, his face pale as death, his lips trembling, his breath heavy with the scent of fear and decay, his presence a weight that crushed her. "What's under this place?" Mara demanded, her voice shaking but sharp, cutting through the silence like a blade, the journal's weight in her pocket giving her courage, its words burning in her mind, their truth a fire in her chest that wouldn't let go, its presence a chain around her heart that crushed her. "What's making that noise? What are you hiding?" Her words were a challenge, a desperate plea for truth in a place that thrived on lies, her heart pounding like a trapped animal, her skin prickling with a dread she couldn't name. Elias laughed, a jagged, broken sound that sent a chill down her spine, his teeth bared like a cornered animal, his hands twitching as if fighting the urge to grab her, his nails stained with something that wasn't grease, something that smelled of blood and earth, its scent heavy with decay, its touch a curse she couldn't shake, its presence a weight that crushed her. "You think death forgets?" he snarled, his voice low and guttural, each word dripping with a madness that wasn't entirely his own, his eyes gleaming with a light that wasn't human, reflecting something older than fear, something that knew the dark too well, its gaze a weight in the air that crushed her. "It remembers. It scratches. It waits." He stepped closer, his breath hot and sour, reeking of grease and something fouler, something that smelled of graves and regret, his eyes boring into hers, stripping her bare, exposing her fears to the dark, his presence a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go. "Leave it alone, or you'll be next. The pit doesn't let go." His voice was a growl, his hands clenching, his nails digging into his palms, drawing blood that dripped onto the floor, its scent heavy with decay, its touch a curse she couldn't shake, its presence a weight that crushed her. She backed away, her heart hammering, the scraping resuming as she fled to her room, louder now, more insistent, as if whatever was below knew she was listening, knew she was afraid, its sound a chorus of claws and hunger, its rhythm a chant from the dark that burrowed into her mind, its presence a weight that crushed her. She barricaded the door with a chair, its legs scraping the floor, the sound echoing like a scream in the silence, but the scraping from below didn't stop, burrowing into her thoughts, relentless, promising something worse than silence, its presence a chain pulling her toward the dark, its weight crushing her. The walls creaked, the air grew heavier, and she swore she heard her name, whispered not from the drain but from the floor itself, soft and hungry, its voice a chain pulling her toward the dark, its cadence a summons she couldn't ignore, its presence a weight that crushed her. She clutched the journal, its pages a weight she couldn't escape, its words a warning she couldn't ignore, its truth a curse she couldn't drop, her mind racing with questions. Who was Lorna to Elias? What had he done to her? And what was the pit, this thing that remembered, that hungered, that waited? The inn seemed to answer, its walls pulsing, its shadows stretching, as if it knew her thoughts, as if it was listening, its breath cold against her neck, its presence a chain pulling her toward the dark, its weight crushing her. Chapter 9, The Breach. The night shattered with a violent explosion of sound, a pipe bursting somewhere deep within the inn's rotting heart, the walls trembling as if struck by a giant's fist, the floor quaking under Mara's feet, the air buzzing with a malice that sank into her bones, its weight a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go, its presence a weight that crushed her. She jolted awake, her breath catching in her throat, her heart pounding so hard it felt like it might tear through her chest, her skin prickling with a dread she couldn't name. Black, stinking water flooded the hallway, seeping under her door like a living thing, its surface rippling with a slow, deliberate churn, its touch cold and slick against her bare feet, as if tasting her fear, its rhythm a heartbeat that matched her own, its presence a weight in the air that crushed her. The stench was overwhelming, a rancid blend of decay, blood, and something older, something wrong, that coated her tongue, her throat, her thoughts, a miasma that clung to her like a second skin, its weight suffocating, its presence a predator stalking her senses, its touch a curse she couldn't shake. She grabbed her flashlight, its beam trembling in her shaking hands, cutting through the dark to reveal glints in the sludge, bits of bone, jagged and yellowed, a rusted ring encrusted with grime, and a human tooth, sharp and stained, floating like a grim trophy, its edges gleaming in the light, its presence a promise of something buried and awake, its weight a curse she couldn't shake, its presence a weight that crushed her. She gagged, her stomach heaving, the flashlight slipping from her grasp, clattering into the water, its beam flickering as the sludge pulsed around her ankles, its weight heavy with intent, its touch a chain pulling her toward the dark, its presence a weight that crushed her. Elias appeared at the end of the hall, his silhouette a jagged wound against the flickering light of a dying bulb, his face pale as death, his hands trembling as he clutched a wrench like a talisman, his knuckles white, his eyes darting to the water, reflecting something older than fear, something that knew what was coming, its gaze a weight in the air that crushed her. His clothes were soaked, stained with grease and something darker, his fingers slick with a residue that wasn't water, its scent heavy with decay, its touch a curse he couldn't shake, its presence a weight that crushed her. "You shouldn't be here," he whispered, his voice barely audible over the gurgling pipes, his hands shaking so badly the wrench slipped, clattering to the floor, the sound swallowed by the water's hum, its rhythm a chant from the dark that burrowed into her mind, its presence a weight that crushed her. "It's awake now. You woke it." His eyes were hollow, his face a mask of guilt and terror, his lips moving silently, as if praying to something that didn't listen, his breath heavy with the scent of fear and decay, his presence a weight that crushed her. His gaze flicked to the water, and for a moment, she saw something in his eyes, regret, perhaps, or a resignation so deep it was almost peace, as if he knew his fate was sealed, as if he'd always known, his presence a weight that crushed her. "What's down there?" Mara screamed, her voice raw, her throat burning, her body pressed against the wall as the sludge lapped at her legs, its cold seeping into her bones, its touch heavy with intent, its rhythm a heartbeat that matched her own, its presence a chain pulling her toward the dark, its weight crushing her. "What did you do? Who's in the pipes?" Her words were a desperate plea, a demand for truth in a place that thrived on lies, her anger a fire in her chest, her fear a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go, its presence a weight that crushed her. He didn't answer, just stared at the water, his lips trembling, his eyes reflecting a nightmare he couldn't escape, his hands stained with something that wasn't grease, something that smelled of blood and earth, its scent heavy with decay, its touch a curse he couldn't shake, its presence a weight that crushed her. The pipes groaned, a deep, guttural sound that vibrated through the walls, the floor, her bones, like the inn itself was waking, angry and alive, its heart beating in the pipes, its hunger a chorus of whispers calling her name, its presence a weight that crushed her. The water surged, carrying a faint whisper, a chorus of soft, wet voices, each one hungry, each one knowing her name, "Mara, come closer." The voices were multiple now, a cacophony of malice and need, their cadence a chant from the dark that burrowed into her mind, their presence a weight in the air that crushed her. She stumbled back, her flashlight flickering, its beam catching shapes in the water, fingers, long and pale, curling upward, eyes, unblinking and gleaming, a smile that wasn't human, its edges sharp and jagged, its hunger a pulse in the air, its presence a chorus of whispers calling her name, its weight a chain pulling her toward the dark, its presence a weight that crushed her. The stench grew thicker, choking, a living thing that wrapped her in its embrace, its touch a curse she couldn't shake, its presence a weight that crushed her. The walls trembled, the floorboards creaking as if the inn was straining under the weight of its own secrets, its own hunger, its own rage, its presence a chain pulling her toward the dark. She turned to run, but the water seemed to follow, its surface rippling with intent, its touch cold and deliberate, as if it knew her, as if it wanted her, its rhythm a heartbeat in the dark that matched her pulse, its presence a weight that crushed her. The pipes screamed, a high, keening wail that wasn't human, and the air buzzed with a malice that sank into her bones, its weight a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go, its presence a weight that crushed her. She clutched the journal in her pocket, its pages a weight she couldn't escape, its words a warning she couldn't ignore, its truth a curse she couldn't drop, her mind racing with the bartender's words, Lorna's desperate scrawl, and the voices in the pipes, all weaving together into a tapestry of dread that threatened to unravel her sanity, its presence a weight that crushed her. Chapter 10, The Trapdoor Opens. Lightning struck the inn with a deafening crack, the sound splitting the night like a bone snapping, plunging the building into a darkness so absolute it felt like a void, the air buzzing with static and the stench of rot, heavy with something older, something wrong, its weight a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go, its presence a weight that crushed her. The power was gone, the inn's lights snuffed out, leaving only the storm's roar and the relentless gurgle of the pipes, their rhythm a heartbeat in the dark that matched her pulse, their presence a weight that crushed her. Mara crept to the pantry, her heart pounding so hard it felt like it might burst, her flashlight shaking in her hand, its beam trembling like her courage, its light frail against the dark that seemed to swallow it whole, its edges blurring as if the shadows were alive, their presence a weight that crushed her. The trapdoor stood open, its chains dangling like broken bones, their links rusted but gleaming in the flashlight's beam, their weight a promise of something locked away, something buried and awake, something that knew her name, its presence a weight that crushed her. The padlock lay shattered on the floor, its pieces glinting like teeth in the dark, their edges sharp and jagged, their presence a promise of something waiting in the dark, its weight a chain pulling her toward it, its presence a weight that crushed her. Wet footprints led down the stairs, small, bare, and fresh, smeared with black sludge, their edges curled as if the feet had dragged, their weight pressing the wood down, their pattern deliberate, like a path meant to lead her somewhere she didn't want to go, their presence a weight in the air that crushed her. None came back up, and the absence of returned prints was a scream in the silence, a warning that burrowed into her mind, its presence a weight that crushed her. She hesitated, her breath shallow, her skin prickling with a dread she couldn't name, her heart hammering so hard it hurt, her flashlight's beam trembling as she gripped it tighter, its weight a frail anchor in the dark, its presence a weight that crushed her. The journal burned in her pocket, Lorna's words echoing in her mind, "Don't open the door. Don't let it out." But the trapdoor was already open, its maw a wound in the floor, its darkness a void that beckoned, its presence a chain pulling her toward the dark, its weight crushing her. She descended, each step a descent into a grave, the air growing thick, rancid, pressing against her skin like a living thing, the stench so heavy it coated her tongue, her throat, her thoughts, a miasma that clung to her like a second skin, its touch a curse she couldn't shake, its presence a weight that crushed her. The stairs were slick, each board creaking under her weight, threatening to collapse, their groans echoing like cries in the dark, their rhythm a chant from the dark that burrowed into her mind, their presence a weight that crushed her. The wood was warped, its surface slick with a viscous film that wasn't water, its texture sticky and wrong, clinging to her boots like a curse, its scent heavy with decay, its presence a weight that crushed her. The stairs ended in a concrete chamber, its walls slick with mold, their surface glistening like wet flesh, their texture sticky and wrong, their presence a weight that crushed her. The air hummed with a low vibration that crawled up her spine, like a heartbeat buried deep, its cadence a summons she couldn't ignore, its presence a weight in the air that crushed her. In the center, a rusted septic tank squatted, its lid cracked open, water dripping into the dark like tears, each drop echoing like a heartbeat, its rhythm slow and deliberate, its sound a promise of something waiting, something awake, its presence a chain pulling her toward the dark, its weight crushing her. The tank's surface was pitted, its edges crusted with a dark, oily residue that wasn't rust, its texture glistening like an open wound, its presence a weight that crushed her. She approached, her flashlight trembling, the beam catching ripples in the tank's surface, the water black and oily, moving as if alive, its surface breaking with shapes that shouldn't be, fingers, eyes, a smile that wasn't human, their edges blurred like nightmares, their presence a weight in the air that crushed her. Something darted below, a shadow too large, too wrong, its shape too human, too broken, its movements too fluid, too intentional, its presence a promise of something coming, something awake, its weight a chain pulling her toward the dark, its presence a weight that crushed her. The air grew colder, the stench thicker, and the walls seemed to pulse, as if the chamber itself was breathing, its heart beating in the tank, its hunger a chorus of whispers calling her name, its presence a weight that crushed her. Mara, the voice whispered, not from the tank but from the walls, the floor, everywhere, a chorus of whispers that knew her name, their cadence a chant from the dark, a promise of something coming, something awake, its voice a chain pulling her toward the dark, its weight crushing her. She froze, her breath catching, her heart pounding so hard it hurt, her skin prickling with a dread she couldn't name. The water rippled, though no breeze touched it, its surface breaking with shapes, hands reaching, eyes gleaming, mouths open in silent screams, their presence a chorus of whispers calling her name, their weight a chain pulling her toward the dark, its presence a weight that crushed her. The chamber seemed to shrink, the walls closing in, the air pressing against her like a living thing, its touch a curse she couldn't shake, its presence a weight that crushed her. She clutched the journal, its pages a weight she couldn't escape, its words a warning she couldn't ignore, its truth a curse she couldn't drop, her mind racing with the bartender's words, Lorna's desperate scrawl, and the voices in the pipes, all weaving together into a tapestry of dread that threatened to unravel her sanity, its presence a weight that crushed her. Chapter 11, The Truth in the Tank. The tank's water was shallow, a pool of muck that shimmered in her flashlight's beam, its surface broken by bones, small, delicate, tangled with clumps of dark hair, their edges worn as if chewed, their shapes too human, too broken, their presence a promise of something buried and awake, their weight a curse she couldn't shake, their presence a weight in the air that crushed her. A locket glinted, half buried in the sludge, its chain twisted like a noose, its surface gleaming like a beacon, its weight heavy with intent, its presence a chain pulling her toward the dark, its weight crushing her. Mara reached for it, her fingers shaking, the water cold and slick against her skin, its touch heavy with intent, its cold seeping into her bones, its texture sticky and wrong, its scent heavy with decay, its presence a weight that crushed her. She pulled it free, the photo inside showing Elias and a young girl, Lorna, smiling under a summer sky, their faces untouched by the darkness that would come, their eyes bright with a hope long dead, their smiles a lie that cut deeper than the truth, their presence a weight that crushed her. Her breath caught, her heart a hammer in her chest, the locket heavier than it should have been, as if it carried the weight of their sins, their secrets, their screams, its chain a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go, its presence a weight that crushed her. "Help me," a voice whispered, not from the tank but behind her, close enough to stir her hair, its breath cold and wet, its tone sweet but laced with rot, its presence a weight in the air that crushed her. She spun, flashlight sweeping the dark, catching nothing but mold and shadows, the walls glistening like wet flesh, their surface slick with something that wasn't water, their texture sticky and wrong, their presence a weight that crushed her. The water rippled, though no breeze touched it, its surface breaking with shapes, fingers, long and pale, curling upward, eyes, unblinking and gleaming, a smile that wasn't human, its edges sharp and jagged, its hunger a pulse in the air, its presence a chorus of whispers calling her name, its weight a chain pulling her toward the dark, its presence a weight that crushed her. A faint giggle echoed, wet and wrong, curling from the tank's depths, joined by a chorus of whispers, each one calling her name, their voices a chain pulling her closer, their cadence a chant from the dark, their presence a weight that crushed her. She backed away, the locket clutched in her hand, its edges cutting into her palm, drawing blood that mixed with the sludge, its scent heavy with decay, its touch a curse she couldn't shake, its presence a weight that crushed her. The air grew colder, the stench thicker, and the walls pulsed, as if the chamber was alive, its heart beating in the tank, its hunger a chorus of whispers calling her name, its presence a weight that crushed her. She stumbled toward the stairs, the voice following, soft and relentless, its tone a lover's whisper but heavy with malice, its presence a chain pulling her toward the dark. "You can't leave. The pit keeps what it takes." The water surged, lapping at her feet, its touch cold and hungry, pulling like a current, its surface rippling with shapes that watched her, their eyes gleaming in the dark, their hunger a pulse in the air, their presence a weight that crushed her. Chapter 12, Face from the Filth. The water surged, bubbling like a living thing, its surface breaking with a slow, deliberate churn, as if something was rising, its weight pressing against the tank's walls, its presence a weight in the air that crushed her. A face emerged, pale, bloated, its skin stretched tight over bone, its eyes wide and unblinking, gleaming like oil in the flashlight's beam, their gaze a weight that crushed her, their hunger a pulse in the air, their presence a chorus of whispers calling her name, their weight a chain pulling her toward the dark. Its smile showed blackened teeth, sharp and jagged, and it spoke in Lorna's voice, soft and venomous, each word dripping with malice, each syllable a knife that cut deeper than flesh, its tone a lover's whisper from a grave, its presence a weight that crushed her. "You always were jealous of me," it said, its lips barely moving, its eyes locked on hers, seeing through her, knowing her fears, her secrets, her shame, its presence a weight that wouldn't let go. "He took my air, but I kept my voice. I kept everything." Mara screamed, stumbling back, her flashlight clattering to the floor, its beam spinning wildly, casting shadows that twisted like claws, their edges blurred as if alive, their movements too fluid, too intentional, their presence a weight that crushed her. The face sank, but the water kept rising, spilling over the tank's edge, chasing her up the stairs, its surface rippling with shapes, hands, faces, things that shouldn't be, their edges blurred like nightmares, their eyes gleaming with hunger, their mouths open in silent screams, their presence a chorus of whispers calling her name, their weight a chain pulling her toward the dark. The laughter followed, echoing through the pipes, a chorus of voices now, all whispering her name, their hunger a weight in the air, their voices a chain pulling her back, their cadence a chant from the dark that burrowed into her mind, their presence a weight that crushed her. She tripped, her hands scraping the stairs, blood mixing with the sludge, the water wrapping her ankles, pulling like a current, its touch cold and deliberate, as if tasting her fear, its weight heavy with intent, its presence a weight that crushed her. She kicked free, crawling upward, the locket still clutched in her hand, its chain tangled around her fingers like a snare, its weight a curse she couldn't drop, its presence a chain pulling her toward the dark, its weight crushing her. The chamber groaned, the walls cracking, as if the pit itself was waking, its hunger a living thing, its voice a scream that wasn't human, its presence a weight that crushed her. The laughter grew louder, the voices merging into a chorus of rage and hunger, and the water surged, cold and relentless, chasing her like a predator, its surface alive with shapes that reached for her, their fingers sharp and gleaming, their eyes bright with hunger, their presence a chorus of whispers calling her name, their weight a chain pulling her toward the dark, its presence a weight that crushed her. Chapter 13, Elias Confesses. Elias waited at the top, his face a mask of guilt and terror, his hands stained with grease and something darker, his eyes darting to the open trapdoor as if it might swallow him whole, its darkness a wound in the floor, its presence a weight in the air that crushed her. She found out, he rasped, his voice breaking, his hands clawing his hair, tearing at his scalp until blood trickled down his face, pooling in the lines of his scars, its scent heavy with decay, its touch a curse he couldn't shake, its presence a weight that crushed her. Lorna. About the others. Guests, stragglers, people no one missed. I fed them to the pit. It wanted more. She was going to tell, he sank to his knees, his body shaking, his eyes hollow with a fear that wasn't just his own, his voice a whisper that carried the weight of years, its tone a confession from a grave, its presence a weight that crushed her. Mara backed away, the locket burning in her hand, its edges cutting into her palm, drawing blood that dripped onto the floor, its scent heavy with decay, its touch a curse she couldn't shake, its presence a chain pulling her toward the dark, its weight crushing her. Her voice shook but was sharp, her anger a fire in her chest, her fear a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go. You're a monster. How many? How many did you kill? His laugh was broken, a sob and a scream, his teeth bared like a cornered animal, his hands trembling as if fighting the urge to run, his nails stained with something that wasn't grease, something that smelled of blood and earth, its scent heavy with decay, its touch a curse she couldn't shake, its presence a weight that crushed her. I lost count. 10. 20. More. The pit's the monster. It remembers. It keeps them alive, in the dark, in the filth, screaming where no one can hear. He looked at her, his eyes gleaming with madness, reflecting something older than fear, something that knew the dark too well, its gaze a weight in the air that crushed her. You woke it. It wants you now. The floor groaned, wood splintering under their feet, the air heavy with the stench of rot and rage, the walls trembling as if the inn itself was alive, angry, ready to consume them both, its heart beating in the pipes, its hunger a chorus of whispers calling her name, its presence a weight that crushed her. The pipes screamed, a high, keening wail that wasn't human, and the ground shook, the pit's hunger a pulse in the air, its presence a chain pulling her toward the dark, its weight crushing her. Chapter 14, Dragged Below. The ground collapsed, a sudden maw opening beneath Elias, a black wound in the floor, its edges jagged like teeth, its darkness a void that swallowed the light, its presence a weight in the air that crushed her. Hands, gray, slick, made of sewage and rage, clawed from the pit, wrapping his legs, his waist, his throat, their fingers cold and unyielding, their nails sharp as bone, their touch heavy with hate, their weight a chain around his heart that wouldn't let go, their presence a weight that crushed her. He screamed, a raw, animal sound, his fingers scrabbling at the floor, nails tearing, leaving bloody streaks that glistened in the dark, his eyes wide with terror, his body twisting as the hands pulled harder, dragging him into the dark. There hung her, a pulse in the air, their presence a chorus of whispers calling her name, their weight a chain pulling her toward the dark, its presence a weight that crushed her. The water surged, swallowing him, his screams bubbling up through the pipes, echoing for minutes, too long, too raw, each cry a plea that went unanswered, each sound a wound in the air that burrowed into her mind, its presence a weight that crushed her. The hands tore at him, their shapes shifting, faces forming in the sludge, Lorna, others, their eyes gleaming with hate, their mouths open in silent screams, their voices a chorus of rage and hunger, their presence a weight that crushed her. Silence fell, heavy as a coffin lid, the air stinking of blood and rot, the floor slick with sludge, its surface rippling with shapes that watched her, their eyes gleaming in the dark, their hunger a pulse in the air, their presence a chain pulling her toward the dark, its weight crushing her. Mara ran, the inn collapsing behind her, beams cracking, walls buckling, the stench chasing her into the storm, its touch cold and heavy, its weight a chain around her heart that wouldn't let go, its presence a weight that crushed her. The ground shook, a low roar rising from the pit, as if it was laughing, satisfied but not sated, its hunger a living thing that wouldn't let go, its presence a weight that crushed her. She stumbled into the rain, her clothes heavy with mud and something worse, the locket still clutched in her hand, its chain tangled around her fingers like a curse, its weight a reminder of the dark, its presence a chain pulling her toward the dark, its weight crushing her. The inn groaned behind her, its roof caving in, its walls folding like a house of cards, the pit's roar drowning out the storm, its voice a scream that wasn't human, its presence a weight that crushed her. She didn't look back, not even when the earth trembled, as if the pit was reaching for her, too, its hunger endless, its memory eternal, its voice a chain pulling her toward the dark, its weight crushing her. Chapter 15, The New Drain. Weeks later, Mara rented a flat in the city, a sterile box of concrete and glass, as far from the countryside as she could get, its walls clean and cold, its floors silent, its air free of the stench that haunted her dreams, its presence a lie she told herself to survive, its silence a weight that crushed her. She rebuilt her life, piece by piece, burying the inn in therapy sessions and sleepless nights, the locket locked in a drawer, its photo a ghost she couldn't face, its chain a weight she couldn't bear, its presence a reminder of the dark that wouldn't let go, its weight crushing her. She told herself she was safe, that the past couldn't follow, that the pit was just a nightmare, a story she'd left behind, its voice a whisper she could ignore. She avoided mirrors, drains, anything that might reflect the dark, anything that might show her what she feared, her reflection a stranger she didn't trust, her eyes haunted by a truth she couldn't face, her heart pounding like a trapped animal, its presence a weight that crushed.